Got the file, you will double left click in your downloads folder, and then you will click here more information and click run anyway. Then under administration prompt, click yes, and here we are at the optimizer. Here select your preferred language, and the optimizer should load. So here we are at the optimizer, and here we have a lot of the tabs. So first of all, I will start with the universal tab. So here you have some of the performance tweaks, which are super handy to enable. So here you have the enable performance tweak. So this apparently is collection of internal Windows settings to optimize performance, and is completely safe to apply. And it also apparently reduces waiting time before killing unresponsive processes. So I will enable the performance tweaks. And then we have disable network throttling. So apparently Windows implements a network throttling mechanism that will restrict network traffic when running multimedia apps. So you can also disable or enable the feature that will disable network throttling, and I will also disable Windows Defender, but this feature unfortunately doesn't work right now because Windows Defender cannot be disabled on Windows 11, and of course if you have Windows 10 version 1903 and higher. And here we also have disable system restore point, so I will enable this feature, disable error reporting, disable this or enable this, and also you can disable telemetry task. So telemetry services periodically sends usage and performance data to Microsoft for future improvements, so you can disable sending this data to Microsoft. Of course, you can disable telemetry for Office and Visual Studio as well, so if you are using that, I highly recommend that you disable both of those. So you have here on the right side, you have disable print service. You can disable this, disable fax service. If you don't use the print or fax, you can easily disable all these features. So disable media player sharing, you can disable that, disable sticky keys, disable that, disable home group, disable superfetch. So superfetch preloads commonly used apps to RAM, causing high disk usage, especially on HDDs. You can disable that, and disable compatibility assistant, which you can also disable. Then we have disable Mozilla Firefox telemetry. So if you are using Mozilla and Google Chrome, you can disable both of these features right here. So this is pretty much it for the universal tab. Right now, let's move on to the Windows. So these features are only available to Windows 11. So restore classic Windows Explorer you can enable, and it will change a look of your file explorer. Then we have disable start menu ads, but I probably didn't saw any of the ads on the start menu of Windows 11. Most of them were on Windows 10, so I will disable the start menu ads just for precautions. And then we can also, which I found quite interesting, uninstall OneDrive. So you can uninstall OneDrive. And then you have a lot of the options right here. For example, interesting one is disable TPM 2.0 check, which you can disable if you have, for example, unsupported device. And you can also disable future updates, which are probably major releases of Windows, such as from 10 to Windows 11, for example. And then I recommend also that if you are, for example, not using Xbox services on your Windows machine, you can also disable Xbox Live. And also, if you are not using the drawing pad on your Windows machine, you can also disable that as well. And disable My People, which I think was also introduced in Windows 10, you can disable that. Enable login pads, I will enable that, and disable spell checking. So touch keyboard only features which are like autocorrection, text suggestion, and spell check, you can disable that as well. Then under this at the bottom settings, you have here an option to align taskbar to the left if you want to, but I don't want to. So here we have also disable Snap Assist, disable widgets, and disable chat. So I can disable that, and disable Snap Assist are this options right here if you want to disable them. But first thing which you are going to do is click on disable Snap Assist, and then you want to restart your file explorer. So if you go to the task manager, for example, then you will scroll down, and here you will see Windows Explorer, and then you will click restart. and Snap Assist shouldn't work. So as you can see, it doesn't right now, but I think this feature is quite useful, so I wouldn't see the point why would you disable it. So here you also have an option, disable automatic updates, if you want to disable them, exclude drivers from update, disable telemetry services, enhance privacy, disable cloud clipboard, disable Cortana, disable sensor services, remove cast to device, disable game bar, and disable insider service. Then you can also make taskbar smaller, but also you need to once again restart your file explorer. Then you have enable classic ribbon in Explorer and enable classic right-click menu. So this is this menu right here, but before it looked like that. So I will enable that. And then we have here the tab of UVP apps, which are apps that usually came installed from Microsoft Store, such as, for example, let's say we have Spotify and so on. So here it says that if you uninstall Store, you won't be able to install new apps, and some apps cannot be uninstalled. So you can here uninstall a few of the apps you want to, but most of them came also pre-installed with the default installation of Windows. So then we have here the startup, so you can select these applications to start up at the boot of your computer, but if you don't want to, just simply uncheck them. Then we have here the common tabs, so these are just a list of the commonly used applications that usually people use and are handy here to just simply click on them, and then this program will download them and install on your computer, and you don't need to go to each of individual website and download exe file from there. Then we have the cleaner, so you can clean up your system drive. So here we have select all, and then we have temporary files, BOSD mini dumps, error reports. You can delete all these files, even empty the recycle bin, and also Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Microsoft Edge. You can also clean all of these cache cookies and so on. Then we have the pinger. So for example, if you want to test how much is your latency, you can just copy, let's say for example, the Cloudflare DNS here and paste it right here, and then you can easily ping it. And as you can see, right now is pinging with the TTL 128. And here we have the average, which is 11.78, and minimum and maximum value, which I think is pretty good. So here we also have the host, so you can easily, for example, block a few of the websites based on your computer IP address. So here are some of the pre-made ad blocks. For example, here we have Adblock Basic, Adblock Social, Adblock Ultimate, and so on. So you can, for example, ban a website from your PC. Then we have the registry, so fix common registry issues. I recommend to enable all, and also restart File Explorer to apply changes. So you can also enable this as well, and then you can click fix, and it should fix common registry issues successfully, of course. Then you have the hardware part of the optimizer, and here you will see all of your hardware that you are currently using. And then we have the integrator, which I found quite interesting. So this is basically an option that will allow you to add an options here in the right context menu on the desktop. So if you go to here to add and modify, we can select here which is the item type. So for example, program, folder, link, file, or command. So I will write here link the program. So program to add is, for example, is a Microsoft Edge. So I will open here file location, select it, and then I will go to the downloads, paste this location of the Microsoft Edge, and then click here Microsoft Edge, click open, and then icon to add. It will use programs icon, and then you can also select here item name in menu, so Microsoft Edge, then click add and modify. And if I right click, you can see here that we have the Microsoft Edge, and if I click on it, it should open the Microsoft Edge.